Hello and welcome to the Morning Bean, a show not about coffee. Instead, we enjoy our coffee while discussing current events. I'm your host, Denny London, and today's episode is called Making the Connection Early. Before we jump into the downfall of society and possibly the next pandemic, please consider giving the show a follow and a 5-star review. It really helps those crazy robot algorithms. Algorithms. On episode 20 of the Morning Bean, yes, you heard that right. We're officially 20 episodes old, and I personally want to thank each and every one of you who have tuned into a show, told a friend, followed, or left a review. Cheers to 20 more. On today's show, we are going to take a look at where the gun violence is happening in America. The results may shock you. Well, probably not. After that, we are going to make the connection early. Ladies and gentlemen, new COVID variant, plus upcoming election, plus Apple lockdown mode. What exactly does this equation mean? What does it equate to? Will 2 plus 2 still equal 4? I'll give you my prediction and more. As always, we have a spicy, you probably shouldn't have tweeted it. You won't want to miss this one. It's one of my favorites to date. And as always, we'll have those TV ratings, but first, 3 quick ones. Our first quick one is nerdy but a goodie. The James Webb Space Telescope has provided the human race with some incredible images. Its first images. Images of the cosmos and beyond. Time magazine has the scoop. The NASA scientists behind the James Webb Space Telescope have spent the better part of the past 26 years pleading for 3 things: patience, time, and in no small measure, money. It was in 1996 that a committee of astronomers working with the space agency first proposed a next-generation space telescope that would be capable of peering 13.6 billion light-years away, detecting infrared light that has been traveling to us since just 200 million years after the Big Bang. The telescope, they promised, would be ready to launch by 2007. Well, they missed that mark. It would carry a price tag of just $500 million. Cheap, as these things go. It didn't work out that way. The forecast 2007 launch didn't happen until Christmas Day 2021. That's just a 14-year deadline that was missed. No big. And as for the $500 million cost, that ballooned to $10 billion. Well, that's just inflation, right? From 2007 to now, $500 million in 2000 probably is $10 billion now. But the astronomers' promise remained the same. The images the new telescope revealed would be spectacular. Stories like these are important to us as a species. I know that sounds weird coming out of my mouth, but it's absolutely true. Stories like these are important. It helps ground you as a person to realize just how vast and large space is. One of the pictures is especially intriguing to myself and to others. It's of Stephan's Quintet or Stephan's Quintet. I'm not sure how to pronounce it. A compact galaxy group located 290 million light years from Earth. 290 million light years away. As human beings, we can't even comprehend distances of that scale. Maybe one day, we'll discover intelligent alien life, and just maybe, that discovery will bring us together as Americans. Although, I hope for more, because I'm an optimist. My hope is that it will bring us together as Earthlings. Because at the end of the day, as a resident of planet Earth, that's what we all have in common. Our second quick one, the devil himself gets caught being a hypocrite. Breitbart reports, Newsom's Spox admits state paid for security and travel to banned Montana. We got states banning other states now. A spokesperson for California Governor Gavin Newsom has admitted that the governor used state resources in recent travel to Montana, despite a ban on state-funded travel to that state. As Breitbart News reported earlier this week, Cal Matters reporter Emily Hoven reported that Newsom was vacationing in Montana, where his wife, California First Lady Jennifer Sybil Newsom, has a family ranch. However, Montana is one of nearly 24 states on a state travel ban, due to the fact that it recently passed legislation protecting women's sports from the involvement of biological men who identify as transgender women. Can you imagine having to wake up every morning, look in the mirror, and know that you have no morals? That's exactly what it's like being the devil himself, Gavin Newsom. There are many things that could be taken away from us as humans. Our word is not one of them. Even if you get banned from Twitter for saying that men can't get pregnant, you still have the ability to speak your mind elsewhere. Mr. Newsom has definitely proven over and over again that he is a hypocrite who is incapable of keeping a moral standard. Now, my hope in 2024, as stated last week on this show, check out last week's episode. 2024, I hope that AOC runs for president. But if it ends up being the devil himself, Gavin Newsom, I'm also cool with that. And finally, our last quick one. The J6 committee accidentally debunks itself? A text from whoever the hell Ian Kremer is to former crackhead, now CEO Mike Lindell proves that Trump did not plan an insurrection on January 6th, which we all know was the deadliest attack on America since the 6-mile wide asteroid killed all the dinosaurs 60 million years ago. This is Ian texting Mike Lindell. This stays between us. We are having a second stage at the Supreme Court again after the ellipse. POTUS is going to have us march there / the Capitol. It cannot get out about the second stage because people will try and set up another and sabotage it. It can also not get out about the march because I will get in trouble with the National Park Service and all the agencies, but POTUS is just going to call it unexpected. Did you catch it? Trump had planned to do a second speech that day. He had another stage set up. Clearly, his plan wasn't to have people break in and walk through the Capitol that day. Peacefully, mostly peacefully. He wanted the people to walk and listen to his second speech. Way to go, J6 committee. You goofed and ruined your whole narrative. Now on to our first story. Let's start by examining a recent tweet from Joseph Are You Done Being a Tyrant Yet Biden. He said, when guns are the number one killer of America's children, yes, you read that right, then we can't just stand by and let it happen any longer. Today we took action. Now, after seeing this tweet, I thought to myself, there's no way, absolutely no way in America that guns are the number one killer of today's youth. I was wrong. Biden was right. See, we are a fair and balanced show around here. Now, a sane person's next question might be, why is this happening and where is it happening? According to thirdway.org, it's a red state issue. They posted this article in March, but the same talking points have been rinsed and repeated over and over since then. The main takeaways from this article, they even have a little section, a little square, main takeaways. Let me read you those. The rate of murders in the U.S. has gone up at an alarming rate, but despite a media narrative to the contrary, this is a problem that afflicts Republican-run cities and states as much or more than the Democratic bastions. Nice word, bastions. I think that's a character off of Overwatch. If you get that reference, I respect you. In 2020, per capita murder rates were 40% higher in states won by Donald Trump than those won by Joe Biden. 8 out of 10 states with the highest murder rates in 2020 voted for the Republican presidential nominee in every election this century. Now, later in the article, they actually mention the top 10 murder states with the top 10 murder rates. And they go as follows. This starts at number 1, works its way down. Mississippi, Louisiana, Kentucky, Alabama, South Carolina, New Mexico, which is blue, Georgia, which is blue, Arkansas, and Tennessee. This is incredible. Now, per the data they provided, 8 out of the top 10 were red states. Therefore, this must be a Republican issue. I mean, those dang Republicans always causing problems, starting the Civil War. No, the Civil War was the Democrats' fault. Assassinating Lincoln, no, that was also them. Okay. The KKK was also the Democrats. I digress. Articles are one thing, but what do people think on Twitter? Here are the latest 3 tweets with the phrase red states gun violence. None of these people are blue check marks. They will remain anonymous. And after you hear what they have to say, you'll agree that none of them have an IQ of over 50. Tweet number 1. Blue states generally rank highest in education and income, lowest in welfare, dependence, and gun violence. Red states generally rank lowest in education and income, highest in welfare dependence, and gun violence. Tweet number 2. Hard facts. Largest populated city in US with the GOP mayor is number 12, Jacksonville, Florida. Population less than 1 million. GOP mayors don't seem to have much success at building economic powerhouses for their states. Top 10 cities for gun violence are all in red states with GOP governors. Tweet number 3. Around 60% of guns used in crimes in Chicago are traced to. This person didn't type this very well. Not going to cut that part out, though. Around 60% of guns used in crimes in Chicago are traced back to other states. But that doesn't fit your narrative. Want to solve gun violence in Chicago? Look to surrounding red states like Indiana and Iowa. Also, nice racist dog whistle saying it's culture. Truly some awesome takes, but it's time to get back to reality. Now, as you probably know, unless this is your first episode, which definitely welcome to the Morning Bean, I'm a big fan of data. The reason being is that data equals science, which equals truth. We can learn things from looking at the numbers. So I decided to dive a bit deeper into this situation, which led me to a CBS News article called Murder Map Deadliest U.S. Cities. The article provided a comprehensive look at the top 75 most dangerous cities in the United States of America. Let's first take a look at the top 10 murder rate cities, starting with number 10 and working our way down to number 1. Number 10, Cleveland, Ohio. Justin Bibb is the mayor and he is a Democrat. Number 9, Memphis, Tennessee. Jim Strickland is the mayor. He is a Democrat. Number 8, Kansas City, Missouri. Quinton Lucas is the mayor. He is a Democrat. New Orleans, Louisiana. LaToya Cantrell, Democrat. Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Now, fun fact, only 2 Republicans have held the mayoral? Only 2 Republicans have been mayor of this city in the last 100 years. Which means right now it's a Democrat, Sharon Weston. Dane, Ohio. Jeff Mims is the mayor. He is a Democrat. Number 4, Detroit, Michigan. Mike Dugan, Democrat. I think you see the pattern here. Birmingham, Alabama. Roll Tide. Randall Woodfin, Democrat. Baltimore, Maryland. Number 2, Brandon Scott, Democrat. And number 1, St. Louis, Missouri. Tashara Jones, Democrat. You might be thinking to yourself, but Denny, the mainstream media and Mr. Joseph Are You Done Being a Tyrant Yet Biden, they're telling me that red equals dead. It's all the red states' problem. Well, I know, baby bird. They lie. But perhaps the next 65 are all Republican run. That would definitely turn the needle, right? I was genuinely curious, and this curiosity led me on a wild goose and Google chase, searching the top 50 cities and their mayor's political affiliation. The results, again, may also shock you. Well, not really. It was also very expected. The top 50 cities only show 6 Republican-run cities, and we will name them because we are a fair and balanced show. Number 14, it was North Charleston, South Carolina. Number 18, San Bernardino, California. I can't say that. I tried like 4 times to say that city name. My apologies. San Bernardino, California. Number 20, Columbus, Georgia. Number 29, Chattanooga, Tennessee. Probably the number 1 most fun city name to say. Number 45, Jacksonville, Florida. And number 48, Tulsa, Oklahoma. Now, to put in other words, put in mathematical standings, 88% of the top 50 are democratically run and 12% are Republican run. This stat and this research portrays a much clearer but different story compared to the one being pushed by our overlords at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue in the mainstream media. For real though, what the heck does a mayor do? What powers do they really have? I mean, it's probably the governor's fault, right? Can we actually blame these demon craps for their city's violence? Well, according to American Legal Publishing, we can. The mayor shall be the chief executive officer of the city. The mayor shall supervise the administration of the city's affairs and shall exercise control over all departments and divisions. The mayor shall be the chief conservator of the peace within the city and shall cause all laws and ordinances to be enforced. A lot of these cities, most of them, bent the knee to BLM, stopped enforcing theft, got rid of cash bail, defunded the police, and simply released these violent criminals back into the streets in the wild, with zero punishment or sometimes just a slap on the wrist. It's time to make criminals afraid again. or lock criminals up again. Whichever is more catchy or looks better on a hat, go with whatever phrase you want. And hopefully, this is a wake up call to all people living in these big cities. Stop voting blue. They obviously don't care about you. Stop voting blue. They obviously don't care about you. That's another one. That's good. Now, I'll allow Jim Carrey to have the final word here. This clip is from the cult classic Liar Liar.
Bosh, bosh, it's Skull. He knocked over another ATM, this time at knife point. He needs your legal advice.
Stop breaking the law, asshole!
Now, on to our second story of the day. This one's probably my favorite. Albert Einstein's E equals mc squared is perhaps the most known equation in the world and most famous. Today, I am officially announcing my latest mathematical endeavor. C plus E plus A equals I. Long form sounds like this: new COVID variant plus upcoming election plus Apple lockdown mode equals potential political information blackout. Let me explain. As you look through the news and you scroll through your social media, you can see they're trying to build up the COVID narrative once again. With a new variant around the corner, they're trying to push the fear, the scare tactic again. Upcoming election. Dems should lose in a massacre, right? Unless something crazy happens like a virus outbreak or World War III. And then Apple lockdown mode. What are you, a tech podcaster now, Denny? Of course not. If you read the podcast description, it clearly states no topic is safe from the bean. Now, to find out more details on the Apple lockdown mode, we went straight to the horse's mouth. The horse's mouth in this case being Apple.com. They had some kind of press release or an article up about it. Apple expands industry-leading commitment to protect users from highly targeted mercenary spyware. Apple is previewing a groundbreaking security capability that offers specialized additional protections to users who may be at risk of highly targeted cyber attacks from private companies developing state-sponsored mercenary spyware. Apple is also providing details of its $10 million grant to bolster research exposing such threats. That $10 million is not coming from our government. That's Apple giving money to other companies to help with this endeavor. I was curious, so I looked it up. At launch, lockdown mode includes the following protections. Messages. Most message attachment types other than images are blocked. Some features, like link previews, are disabled. Web browsing. Certain complex web technologies, like just-in-time JavaScript compilation, are disabled unless the user excludes a trusted site from lockdown mode. Apple services. Incoming invitations and service requests, including FaceTime calls, are blocked if the user has not previously sent the indicator a call or request. Wire connections with the computer or accessories are blocked when the iPhone is locked. Configuration profiles cannot be installed, and the device cannot enroll into mobile device management, MDM, while the lockdown mode is turned on. Me not being born yesterday, would not be surprised if this technology is rolled out to all cell phone manufacturers. Just think about how well you can control the narrative if you control how someone can use their cell phone. Especially when, with just one mouse click, you could decide what sites could be visited, what links are permissible, and who is able to message who. This is what we call a communication or information blackout. It's a common tactic used by authoritarian regimes to control their people. You peasants will see what the state wants you to see. Maybe this is just a wild conspiracy theory and Apple just really cares about your privacy and security. Doubtful. The past 2 years have shown us that a conspiracy theory is only months away from being true, sometimes days. It's kind of common sense that they would try to push this. It really wouldn't surprise me if the elections were suspended due to a new variant or the outbreak of World War III. That's what they did in Argentina. They suspended the elections. And now look, they're at like 140% inflation. We wouldn't know the truth if lockdown mode was enabled on all devices. They would probably text us our daily approved news and have MSNBC or CNN continue their propaganda parade. We'd probably start seeing the famous mottos come back. You know the ones. We're all in this together, and do your part. Together alone. I say all of this as I record this show on my MacBook Air, which was written on my iPad, later to be shared on social media using my iPhone 13. I'm clearly an Applehead and a fan. New COVID variant plus upcoming election plus Apple lockdown mode equals potential political information blackout is definitely a formula to keep an eye on. Let's talk some news ratings. This is one of my favorite things to highlight each week because I want you to know that you are the majority. Don't be afraid to speak your mind and the truth. As you know, we're at war, and the war is an information one. We're going to be highlighting cable news ratings from Tuesday, July 12th, 2022, thanks to RoadMN on Twitter. This is highlighting the total views, and we're going to look at prime time. We're going to simply look at the key demographic, which is the 25 to 54-year-old viewers, and the homie Tucker Carlson came in with 50% of that viewership. The January 6 hearings had 31%, and Anderson Cooper 360 had 19%. At 9 p.m., Hannity, which I still don't think we like him anymore, had 39%. The January 6 hearings had 36%, and Anderson Cooper gained some viewership. He was at 25%. And then finally, the Ingram Angle, 10 p.m. slot, 41%. The Last Word with L. O'Donnell had 33%, and Don Lemon had 27%. You are the majority. And last but certainly not least, you probably shouldn't have tweeted that. This week, we are highlighting a tweet from Representative Eric Swalwell. Eric tweeted, "What's the Democrats' message? I hear this all the time. Simple. We're the party of freedom to make your own health care choices, freedom from your fear of gun violence, freedom to have your vote counted. Our message is our values. Freedom for all." That was tweeted on July 8th, 2022. But Eric, I seem to recall a time, November 29th, 2021. Is this you? Did you tweet this? I'm losing my COVID patience. I've tried to reason with the unvaxxed. I've directed some to medical pros. I don't judge, but hear them out and steer them to facts. The unvaxxed love to say it's about choice, but you know who doesn't have a choice? My 3 kids under 5. Blah, blah, blah. You have a right to not get vaxxed. Fine. Then businesses and government have a right to tell you that you're not welcome to patronize or you can't get on a plane. Because what right do you think you have to expose my kids to your COVID? As parents, let's own the outrage. The loony carnival barkers at the school board meetings do not reflect where most parents are. Your unvaxxed status is creating new variants. So get your damn shot or stay inside your house, but don't mess with my kids. Like our friend from earlier, Gavin Newsom, Eric Swalwell proves that the only consistent position a Democrat can hold is the ability to be inconsistent and a hypocrite. All right, thank you so much for checking out today's show. If you enjoyed it, tell a friend. In fact, I think you and your hypothetical friend should give it a follow. New episodes every Thursday at 8 a.m. Eastern. We also upload 1 video a week to the Rumble account at The Morning Bean. Feel free to check out the socials, Getter, Twitter, or Truth Social at Denny London. We can continue the conversation there. Anyways, thank you so much for listening. God bless and